should be recording.
We should.
I feel like that's an important
this
part
could be a
of the podcast. There was that whole episode that we just forgot to record.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lost to time and space, and then
That was tough.
I didn't even take notes from it, so
We had
That was
to
really exciting.
completely,
Piecing that
re-record
together.
that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had to go through the entire script all over again.
R.I.P. Alix with an E. May you rest in peace.
He was a cool twin, you know, with the goatee and everything. From
Yeah,
the-
cool as one way to say it.
I liked him.
Of course you liked them. You were him.
Now we need to introduce this character actually on the podcast.
God, no.
It's going to make his death so much worse.
Jeff, if anybody gets evil twins, it's me. Dang it!
Oh, it's the
You know,
fifth
that
Okoye
is
brother.
very
Write
fair.
that down.
Yeah. You are probably the person who would.
It's
most
in my
likely get the evil
contract
twin.
and every robot PC's contract from the beginning of time.
Beware.
Evil twins, I get them.
Keep an eye out for Nona's evil twin, Nona. No.
No,
No need.
Yes, excellent.
No new.
And welcome back to the 7-Star of the Right podcast. This is session 61. How are you guys doing?
Cool.
Cool.
Really good.
Awesome.
I brought my own caffeine from home today, so
Yeah, we were
feeling
kind
very
of running a
prepared.
little low.
I didn't even know. I just like mine better.
Would you say 2?
That's okay. I think it's session
Oh,
62.
it is 62. Oh, no.
God.
It's the last episode.
It is
It's through-
62.
What a blunder.
This is the lost episode.
Through-
We're in it right now at this moment. Everyone grab
you
your
are
evil
completely
clones.
right, Philip. It is 62, and I'm not going to retake that. I just looked at a different session notes, and session 61 is right there. Speaking of session 61, what do you guys remember from last time?
Oh, you know.
I really want to say like nothing and then just watch you turn red in the face.
Don't
But that
everyone
would be
talk at
lies.
once.
And that would be like,
Yeah, no, okay. So, I mean, we
Mhm.
resolved the stuff with Wilhelm. Was that last time or the time before?
yeah, no.
That was last time, right?
So Wilhelm died at the end of the previous
No, I
episode,
know. Yeah, and then we dealt with
Grief.
with his wife, with grief. All the
Yeah.
stages of grief happened.
There was bargaining
And
in there. There was
Yep, jumped through
all
all
of
of
the
them.
other
Really,
ones.
really
Anger,
fast.
you know,
there was
Depression.
anger,
the
depression,
other stages of grief.
Denial.
I
yeah.
stay in bargaining as long as possible. So
Plus, you get so much free stuff.
Aletta et al. Showed up, and they're doing stuff around the compound now. Lucius Leggett is poking around.
We had my when I was attached to the thing, the Wycliffe employees captured Ernst for us, which was a great feat because he was tied up in a cabin, but then also did not capture the other brother who is not that, which I didn't really expect them to be able to, but I figured we had to give it the old college try.
The old
Yeah,
college.
we had a bit of a moment where you were pretty into being plugged into the
I
thing.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Just a little bit of megalomania.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
It's Jeff's fault for describing it as like drugs. That's all I'm saying.
And then essentially we were on the way out, and I think looking for Pycleides / Arcus / Mari.
Yeah.
We thought, but no, you did find my friends to find Arcus.
Yeah.
And we thought like, oh, he's probably getting beat up, but he was
Wasn't.
okay.
It was fine.
He was okay. Mari's okay too.
We also had a little bit before that. I managed to do an info dump and be like, hey, I talked to somebody who claims to be my sister out in the wastelands. And I shared a theory that I've been working on for a while, which is that there are actually 2 sources of mind control. And that taking down Wycliffe removes one of them, but not the other, mainly due to the fact that Wycliffe seem to be run through helmets, whereas like all of the animals that have been attacking us have been run on these like little pill things, cylinders or whatever, directly inside of animal brains.
Yep.
Yeah, and I called dibs on the mind control box, so I get that. And the
mind control box?
Yeah,
Say that
you
one
know.
more time?
yeah,
the mind control
the
box.
one that
Box of mind control.
Wilhelm had behind his throne.
The
There's-
console?
Sure.
You can't claim it's a part of the building.
I called dibs on it.
It's on her character.
Okay.
We also called dibs on the
The power armor.
the power armor,
but that
which-
one I care about less. I want the mind control infrastructure.
I was assuming we'd taken the power armor out when we left. Did that?
We did not call
did-
it out explicitly,
so
but I
maybe
did
not.
leave a note.
No, I'm pretty sure you did like say, oh, and Aletta, we call dibs.
On
Yeah.
armor, yeah.
And the box.
And I wrote down the tower of
Yeah.
Woodcliff in my inventory. So
I'm just carrying that around.
it's in
Pick
my
it up
backpack.
and put it in your pocket.
I just saying.
Yeah, so all that happened. There was a couple of things that happened at the end of last.
Yeah, now we
There's
can
a-
jump into that.
A little dream sequence happened at the end.
just a tiny one, just a little one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go through just the broad strokes because I'm sure.
So let David do it. It's his backstory.
Well, I was going to say,
Yo,
Dude,
I wrote that so long ago.
do you even remember most of
Yeah,
this?
I do.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right. Yeah, I'll just go over the broad strokes. You all had a shared dream.
Yep.
Started with Nona, but as the dream kind of went on, you started to see other people in it as well. Micah was the next one. Alix was obviously kind of the subject of the dream and was going through a particular memory of his where his father took him hunting and he partook in this ritual almost. We can obviously speak more about that, but he killed a deer.
Yep.
And then drank its blood.
Which is not good for you.
And
Don't try that at home, children.
At the end of the dream, things started to get a little bit more dreamlike, a little less memory-like. And there were these kind of, I don't know, unapproving faces that you saw from Nona and Micah. And I do want to clarify that it was not me taking control of your characters and your outward feeling towards what you were seeing, but more so what Alix perceives this as well as the buck flipping in between an animal and
The buck doing backflips.
the buck doing backflips.
Yeah, you were sweet. It did a kickflip. Everyone cheered.
On the high trapeze. A buck.
Between the buck and Kainan Maddie, who we met a while back. This is one of the freedom fighters, as I'm putting quotes around that.
Right.
I don't see why.
Some might call them terrorists that Micah runs around with. He was one of the older psychics in your group. And I think there was a whole exchange on a boat between Breeze and the Calvin estate between Kainan and Alix that effectively went, I recognize you and I assume you recognize me. Let's never talk about what happened again. Bygones be bygones. It seems we're on the same page now.
And I said, all right,
Cool.
bet. I sure hope this doesn't come up again, but I'm glad it's buried. And then he walked away.
Yep. And I think Micah had an opportunity to overhear it and rolled really poorly. So Micah didn't overhear it.
That sounds right.
I was busy messing with everyone's phones.
Oh, that's right. I think that is correct. Anyway, this all culminated into another dream prophecy that was given by Claire. I'm going to read through it again.
I want to call
Word
out,
for
just
word.
share
We are
really
probably gonna
fast.
Go through it. But yeah.
For our audience, it's really fun how Jeff numbers these because it's not just 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's 1 out of question mark. Add a little spicy mystery in there. So Jeff, yes, go ahead and read off prophecy number 4 out of question mark, would you?
Because I don't know how many there are either.
I like to mention that at one point you did know because it was like a definitive number. It was like 5 or 6 at first, and at one point became
Yeah, that's
mark
true.
Pay no
in
attention.
the shared drive.
Anyway, it reads as this, and I'm not going to read it in Claire's voice. Also, you guys might notice that I might be a little sick. So we'll see how
Look at that.
any Ursum, Claire, and Torque voices go for the session.
If only we knew a torque on Fistos.
Yeah, if only. I'm sure there's one somewhere out there,
Yeah.
just waiting to be found.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
Choices made by few will affect the lives of many. Before the reborn fledgling with sparks on its wings leaves a world of smoke and wastes behind, a choice will be made. An obsidian mausoleum reduced to shards, 100,000 voices crying out before falling forever silent, or another path, obscured by the desires of a man and woman untouched by time. One thing is certain, for each step the dreamer takes towards their deepest desire, the pale-faced rider is not far behind. And then you guys woke up. Now, I think we may have glossed over a couple of other things that I just want to make sure we mention before we actually get into the session itself. Firefangs did not make it out well in the invasion of Wycliffe, partially because of Pycleides. What is it?
Bravado.
I was going to say
Disappearance.
impatience. Anyway, my Pycleides is just straight up missing, along with the platoon that he was with. I think you guys got the information that they were the first ones over the wall, and in the fight itself, were possibly also were able to push into the mega factory itself. But after that, accounts get it was mayhem. So people didn't really fully understand what was happening, and accounts are maybe misleading to say the least. But the last known whereabouts they were pushing into Wycliffe itself, and Pycleides and the platoon that he's with completely gone. Terry, who you met and talked to once, Alix had like I think a five sentence exchange with him. Just is dead. You guys saw him in the triage center. Celine's missing an arm, and it seems that Mari and Arcus and Barry were kind of taking control as the head of this whole entire mercenary group was cut off in one fell swoop between Terry, Celine, and Pycleides, now missing. I believe that was all that important. Yeah, and then Emmanuel also escaped the hands of the Wycliffe employees that we already mentioned. So that was all that happened last time. And we have this dream and then this prophecy, and then you all woke up at the same time. And go.
All right. So I think Alix for his. Oh, so we've done a dream before. Claire and Micah shared a dream at one point. Was that shared? That was shared with the rest of the group.
Yes, because there was another prophecy in that one as well.
Right.
That was the one that pointed you towards the orchid and the experiments that were happening there, and got you the I forget, the dossier or something. It was like the orchid dossier.
I don't think, though, that Alix immediately kind of makes that connection. Alix has a lot of dreams. A lot of them are nightmares. So I think at first it doesn't quite register that this might be more than that. So I think Alix is kind of groggily gonna roll out of bed and, like, with this bad taste in his mouth still from that dream, it just kind of grabs a water skin and stumbles like out of the room.
Nona, you're completely aware of all this. As soon as the shared dream ends, you're only just back pretend closing your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say probably for Nona's part, this is the first time she's experienced anything roughly like that. I would think from her perspective, she would be thinking that might have been a malfunction.
All right.
Kind of deal. So I think she sort of sits up and like starts kind of self-testing and like, okay, are my fingers working? You know, touch each of those to your
Doing
thumb
like a quick
kind of thing.
diagnostics
Yeah,
thing.
like vision. Can I still see stuff? What is memory like, and that sort of thing. Probably not paying attention to literally anybody else because this was a very frightening and strange experience.
Micah has obviously experienced something kind of like this before. I think she's gonna sit straight up in bed after the dream is over. Gonna take a second to like let the heart rate go back down. That was kind of an intense sequence, and kind of call out tentatively, like, Claire, was that you? Was that like back on Jade?
And so you take a quick look around the room that you were in. It was kind of like an adapted barracks. So you didn't have each your own rooms. You were all sleeping in the same room in these various cots. Alix is already gone. You see Nona just kind of doing some weird exercises in the corner. And as you look over to see where Claire is sleeping, she's still dead asleep.
Oh no.
She's dead.
She's dead.
She's dead.
I think actually any mention is sort of made of like, hey, Claire, did you do a thing that will be enough to catch Nona's attention? And she'll look up at that and say, psychic things, like say, visions being projected into your head of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that you were part of this the other time too. I gotta think that felt more real than a dream. I think that was Claire, but I guess she's still out.
Well, yeah. As you say, Claire, you take a look at her, and she is prophecies take a toll on her. You see her eyes are closed, but you see just this glow from out under her eyelids. You see like this tense, how she's holding like her hands, and everything is tensed right now. And you see just little, almost like reflexes here and there, like little ticks, just running across her body here and there. She's still very much in the throes of it.
All right, noticing that, I'm gonna definitely get out of bed and go kind of like grab onto her hand and try and like pat her awake.
I follow you over there, and I said, so you saw the thing with the deer and the...
Yeah. And the blood and the all of that.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think we all did. Where did Alix go?
Most likely out. I can go
Yeah.
find him if you'd like.
Maybe I think that's okay. Maybe we should talk, but I get if he needs a minute. That was kind of a lot. I know we've seen Claire sort of in the throes of psychic stuff multiple times before. Does she feel like feverish or something, or anything like actionable, or just kind of sit and wait?
It's one of these things. So you've seen her give, what is it, 3 or 4 prophecies now? 2 conscious, 1 unconscious. So this is the second unconscious one. There's really not much you can do other than make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Like it's effectively almost like a seizure in that respect. So you hold her hand and kind of like give it pats and pets, and eventually things do subside. You feel like this tenseness that was over her body, and the veins that were kind of just bulging out just a little bit, and you see these little flecks of light running up and down her arms. Just all of these symptoms slowly start to subside, and just becomes a little calmer and a little calmer. And you see this glow behind her eyelids start to fade and fade and fade until she flutters her eyes and says, okay. Hi. Oh,
Hey,
I did it again, huh?
welcome back. I think so. Yeah. Do you remember anything at all?
I remember a forest and kind of being like lost in it. And Alix was there and you were there.
Yeah. I think everyone was there.
Okay. And then I saw him, do the thing, and then I saw other things. I got a little stressed, and I blacked out. And I assume something happened when I blacked out. Were there words said?
There was
Very profound.
Another one of those. They definitely seemed
All
like
right, a little bit full of yourself now, Claire, but all right.
You were saying something, that's for
trying to make
sure.
a joke, trying to make light of the situation.
My creative writing teacher.
Anyway, seeing that Claire is now conscious, I think Nona's like, okay, things are in order here. I'm going to leave and go follow Alix, assuming I can.
Yeah, you don't have to go very far to find them. If the barracks open up just like onto like a street, pretty much, then
Yeah, there would probably be actually like a bathroom just attached to the barracks, so you didn't even necessarily
perfect.
need to leave the
I cannot follow him into the bathroom.
Alex is-
So
Oh, yeah.
retconning
I-
that.
I-
if
it's
that's
all the
where
way
you go.
down around his
I'm
ankles.
just saying, if you wanted to get water, there'd
Hey.
probably be water, like tap
Yeah,
water in the bathroom.
exactly.
Fair enough.
So like there's probably some communal showers or something like that. So you went to the tap there.
Yeah, you guys might have honestly heard like the tap go on and the water running, Alix gargling and just kind of like spitting into the sink. So it's pretty easy to find him. But yeah, he's there. And does Nona knock? Or does
Well,
Nona
I
just,
thought you went
just barge in?
outside.
It's like
Yeah.
a communal bathroom. So it's one of those, that you have like in a dorm in college where
Sure.
there's
So I can have my
multiple
own sink.
individual showers, multiple stalls, multiple sinks, but it's kind of like an open plan. So
Got it.
unless you were in a stall, she wouldn't really need to knock. She could just come in.
No, the sink's fine. The sink's fine for Alix. So yeah, Alix will kind of like look up as Nona's going in and like wipe his mouth and say, "Oh, sorry, did I wake? Oh, hey, I guess you don't sleep, so
I apparently did just now, actually. It's a fascinating experience. I would not do it again.
oh, sorry, was that your first? You fell asleep? You fell asleep?
Yes, I believe we all had the same dream.
And Alix kind of that about that pause, maybe like a little bit more. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, okay. So that was, oh, shit. Okay, so you all, oh, okay.
Are you all right?
And his like knees kind of like buckle like a little bit. And he's like, okay, no, I'm fine. I'm great. Oh, I'm gonna sit down on the floor. I'm gonna sit. God. Oh, no, sorry. Can you get me my water? It's right on the sink by the There's a little canteen.
Nona's great at fetching things, so she does that.
Okay.
And then she sits down next to him, but is also ready to stand back up in case this is one of those don't mimic me situations that we've been in before.
Maybe a trash can. Maybe a trash can too, please.
Nona fetches a
Okay,
trash can.
100%.
All right.
Anything,
All right.
yes. I am being helpful. These are tasks that I can help with. I am glad to be here. Holding hands, not so much. Fetching stuff, heck yes.
If Claire is stable and there's like clattering of trash cans going on in there, I think Micah will go to the bathroom also.
Yeah, Claire will stay in her bed. She's still a little disoriented.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. And also, she is in a state. So she's fine. She's fine by herself. She just needs to gather her bearings a little
You've
bit.
heard that before. You leave her, she's going to get kidnapped again. You know this, right? This is on you.
Okay.
I won't. I promise I won't take her this time.
I don't trust those eyes.
Sorry. Anywho.
Yeah. So Micah
We're
walks
having a thing.
into Alix, like repeatedly taking sips out of the canteen, kind of swishing it around his mouth, spitting into the trash can. His head kind of stays in the trash can for a little bit, just in case he vomits. And then it's just kind of like that. And Micah will walk in. Alix will like look up and go, "Oh," and put his head right back in the trash can. Okay. And take a couple of deep breaths.
I look up at Micah and I say, I am uncertain if this is due to drinking or other things. It is sometimes hard to tell with you
I
all.
didn't drink.
I don't think so.
I passed right out last night. Slept a little bit too. Slept a little bit too well. Okay. Is this going to
Yeah.
happen if we ever share a room? Does this happen anytime we just like have to share a hotel room?
Yeah, maybe Claire gets her own room. No.
No, wait. No, that can't happen.
That's not good. Yeah,
You don't want her in the same room. Don't want her out of the same room.
Claire, just never sleep. Okay? Just don't do it.
Okay.
I sympathize. It's very intrusive. That happened to me before. It's not nice. We should probably talk about it, though.
Oh, great. Yeah, please. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. Well, do you need like a few minutes?
Maybe
Can
a
I get
little
you
bit,
something?
Coffee.
Sure. If
Yeah.
there's some, I'll look around probably outside wherever we are to get coffee.
Yeah, there's like a cafeteria. So this is like an army encampment. So there would be like a little cafeteria that would probably have. It's not good coffee. It's like pretty awful black coffee, but it's coffee.
That's fine. He's probably going to throw it up anyway.
It's not for the pleasure of the drinking.
So you were able to step out quickly. Who's doing this, Micah? You're doing this?
I'm doing it. Yeah.
So you're able to do this within like 5-10 minutes. You have some familiarity with this. You maybe have to ask around quickly. It does seem like things have calmed down a little bit from the events of yesterday. You do still see a lot of activity around the one of the hangars, the hangar that you saw Mari, Arcus, and Barry working very hard in. But it does seem that the worst of it, like the scary, okay, we need to figure out where everyone is. We need to triage who needs help, has calmed down a little bit. And the morning is a little bit more relaxed. There's still some tension throughout the air, but this is not like a beehive that has just been kicked. So you're able to return with just the one coffee. Are you going to take one as well?
I don't want one. It sounds bad.
There's no tea.
I figured.
Bitch.
The army doesn't use tea.
Cruel.
I mean, it may. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before she gets back, I think I'm going to say something along the lines of, I get the feeling that this might be one of those situations that I'm bad at. If I can be helpful, let me know.
No, this is good. I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit longer, and then at some point we probably should move out of the bathroom. But this is fine for now.
Question, Jeff, before I get back
Yeah.
back in there. Are there any little like breakfast things I can maybe get, like a little croissant, something like that?
You could have just said bagel.
Probably not a croissant, but
A Danish.
no, I feel like that's too nice for the Firefangs. They'd probably have something closer to like bagel and a choice of either cream cheese or peanut butter.
Oh, you gotta go. Also, you gotta go the biscuits and gravy route because the biscuits are left over from the previous
Again,
night.
This
and
is
you
an
just,
army
like-
encampment.
Can there be like a little bowl of ice cold butter blocks?
You know,
That are
there's
just like-
also one of those like cucumber water and then like a lime water.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
no,
nice.
but okay,
That's
everybody's
good.
making fun of this.
There's
I
an
need to
omelet
clarify. Biscuits and gravy started off because the biscuits were from several days ago, so they had been hardened. So, like, this is a thing.
You know, fair enough.
It's a very
There's biscuits and gravy
Thank
as well.
you.
if want
That's all
biscuits
I
and
wanted.
gravy.
I will get myself some biscuits and gravy.
Okay. You get a little takeaway carton. Just yourself?
I'm not sure Alex is up for it. Nona doesn't
Ask
eat.
the
Maybe
waiter.
I'll get some for Claire. She probably needs some food.
The waiter's like, bienvenue.
Anyway. As Mike is out, is there any more conversation that happens between the two of you?
not that I will start.
Yeah, not unless somebody starts it.
All right. Micah returns with the coffee and biscuits and gravy.
They have biscuits and gravy.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
do you
You know what? No breakfast for anyone. Take it away, Jeff.
It smells awful.
It exists. It does smell awful.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I think I can get up.
Here,
Should we-
coffee.
Thank you. I got. Okay. Let's go sit down someone with chairs.
Yeah.
We
All
go-
right. Let pack up. Go somewhere else.
All right. Alex kind of sits down a little shakily, but still together. His eyes definitely dart to like the actual exit, but he kind of like takes another breath, takes a sip of the coffee, and settles back down a little bit, foot tapping. Says, "Okay, great. So, you saw one of my dreams. That was honestly one of the more common ones. So, that's it's not so terrible. But
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, I mean, there was the prophecy at the end. We should probably touch on. I don't want to get like all into your business. Like that's personal stuff. I do kind of think I need to ask one thing though. It's I thought I saw Kainon. Maybe you remember him, like my friend from back on
Yeah.
Orsiame. What was he doing?
I know.
There.
I remember him. I was at one point a while ago a medic for an army, and I was stationed on Orsiame, and the group that I was stationed with, that I was a medical officer for, well, they were covert ops, I suppose, and were not exactly scrupulous with how they obtained information or activity with what they saw as rebels, or so
What
At
are you
one-
saying?
at one point Kainon was captured by the squadron, and well, he was tortured, and it was my job to keep him alive, and that's why he was there in my dream.
Yeah, Mike is gonna stand up from sitting. Not really say anything for a few seconds at least. It's like what? Are you fucking serious? You were working for the fucking government on my planet and you tortured my friend. What the fuck is going on? All right, okay. She's gonna blow out of the tent, out of the barracks. Like I can't be here right now.
Yeah, Alex, stay seated.
Mm-hmm. Nona, do you?
I think Nona's gonna follow Micah. Not so much as in a storm out, but like more of a are we leaving now kind of thing. No, just some of us. Okay. I think she's way out of her depth here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. So just gonna go follow Micah.
Yeah. So, Alex, you find yourself alone in the room with your thoughts, and
Claire, or is Claire gone now?
well, so that was the thing. I was picturing this as kind of a separate room.
Oh, fair
outside
enough.
of the bedroom, but the door to the bedroom, you hear I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do all that. It just kind of happens. She kind of leans up against the frame of the doorway.
Well, it was gonna come out sometime. It's not your fault, it's mine. I'm gonna I'm gonna go wait outside. And he gets up to leave the barracks.
Do you want me to come with?
It's still early. You should see maybe if you can get some sleep or something. I don't know. And he keeps going.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I saw there, but I know who you are, and at that she just kind of trails off and turns back to go back into the bedroom.
I think Alix kind of pauses at the door frame when she starts speaking, and then at the end of that, just kind of knocks on the door frame twice and walks out.
All right. So Micah and Nona, I assume, Micah, you are directing this. Nona's
Yes,
following. If you're somehow following Nona, then
It's
something
like
is
my
not
thing.
wrong. Where are you going? Yeah.
I am storming in the direction of wherever it seems like there are fewer tents, fewer people. It's like somewhere away. If there's like, some kind of, I forget what the flora situation is. If there's like an area with more trees or some just like away from people.
Yeah. So this is an encampment a bit like in the plains outside of Wycliffe that goes up this mountain to this plateau that Wycliffe is sitting on. So it's a fairly open area. There are buildings that are kind of dotted around, but they're very concentrated. So as you take a walk, you can easily walk outside like the perimeter of the buildings, and then you would probably see more like sandbags and trenches and, armaments and just defensive positioning. So as you get farther and farther out, like most of the activity right now is happening within the buildings itself. So you're probably pacing up and down a couple of trenches and sandbags, able to see the plains out in front of you with, divots here and there from the explosions of last night and the general battle that happened the night prior.
Yeah. So Micah's probably going to go to where some of these like sandbags are and honestly just kind of like take out her telekinetic rifle and start shooting at some of them. It's like just kind of angrily talking kind of under her breath, not noticing if Nona has caught up yet or not. It's like, I should kick the shit out of him. Like, are you kidding me? This entire time, and he never brought it up. Fuck's sake.
Nona,
so left to her own devices, that's going to be the way of things for a bit.
Sure.
She's shooting sandbags.
Nona pulls out her pistol and shoots a sandbag too. I'm helping.
I love this empathy that Nona has, where she's like, I don't understand what's going on right now, but I'm gonna like mirror you.
There's
and
a trust there.
I hope you feel like, yeah.
There's a trust there. Like I do not understand it, but there must be a reason for this. So this is what we're doing now.
So Nona takes out her pistol
Yeah.
and starts shooting the sandbags along with you.
Yeah, I noticed that she's fired a shot or two and just like realized that she's there for the first time and that we're having a Nona moment right now. Like, fuck. Did you know about this?
About what?
But fucking Alix. I know I'm not making sense. And like, I just don't know what to do with this information. Jesus.
I'm confused.
God, I can't do this right now. About what, Nona? He fucking tortured one of my friends. Was working for the whole group of people that I've like spent years trying to like free us from. What's not clicking?
Well, for first things, I thought he was healing the person.
He's complicit. That makes it worse. I mean, fuck. Okay, I know you're kind of right.
I've gathered that torture is worse than killing. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, I'm cooling off a little bit. I guess we've been with Alix for a long time. What the fuck? He met Kynon. We were together. How did this not? I'm so confused. I'm so tired.
What? Maybe Kynon didn't recognize him, because otherwise, why wouldn't Kynon tell you about it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know why.
I mean, I would think that if you cared about somebody, you'd want to avoid saying words that would make them angry. Maybe that's
Okay.
why neither of them mentioned it.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm doing that thing again, aren't I?
What thing?
Oh,
No,
I'm
no.
bad at things and I
No.
don't understand stuff. And
Actually, you're not as bad as you think right now. Okay. There's probably more to the story. Maybe I overreacted a little bit, because we know Alix. We've known Alix for a long time now. Fuck. Take one more shot at a sandbag for good measure, and then kind of tilt my head back toward the camp for Nona to come with.
yeah, I will continue following.
You doing anything in the interim, Alix? Are you just waiting outside the barracks for them to return, or just...
Yeah, just kind of pacing back and forth, leaning up against like one of the walls. Alix kind of squats down for a bit and is just kind of thinking. Yeah.
So a couple minutes pass as you think, and Micah and Nona, are you returning to the barracks then?
Yeah.
You see head almost in hand, squat up against the side of this barracks. Alix. You're not sure where Claire is, but she's probably still inside.
Okay. If Alix kind of sees them coming, he stands up and pats himself down, and will like walk up. So I know that if this is very difficult to hear, and I this isn't the thing to say. I'm obviously so sorry, not for what happened and how it came out and everything, and he kind of like pulls out his credit stick, pretty much being like, I only need like maybe 200 or something, but I'll give you guys my cut of what we've earned. I just need drop me off somewhere, and I can
Stop. Okay. Look, I'm sorry I yelled at you before. Micah's still just kind of like
you don't
trembling
have
in
to-
place a
you
little
don't
bit,
have
but no. I need you to explain everything about that right now. I need to know, or else we're very not cool. But like I thought I know you, Alix, and we've been good. It's been good. But I need to know what this is about. Why were you working for them? When did you stop? What did you do?
Yeah. You're odd that. can we maybe go back inside? Is that
Yeah,
fine?
sure, fine.
Great. So once we're back in, Alex stays standing this time and kind of like not sure what to do with his hands, kind of fidgeting around. I guess we can start at the beginning. I'm my name is Alexander Kane. I'm a military brat. My father is General Hunter Kane of the Cassian military. My mother is Nona Kane. She's a Cassian politician. So good combination, general and politician. You learn a lot of things. And born into this kind of family. I'm the oldest son. I have one sister. Her name is Natalia. Claire saw her. I don't think you guys actually. You might not have had the pleasure. I have one younger brother. His name is Quentin. And well, my mother traveled a lot, and she took Nat around with her. But Quentin and I were left with my father, with General Kane. From pretty early on, it was well decided that we were going to follow in his footsteps and join the military. So I've been in a military academy, or I was in a military academy since I was 7-ish, military adjacent. I think the daycare I was in, so it might have been a little bit earlier than that, was military affiliated. I was never really good at the shooting part of it. A little bit better at strategy, and I was born with biopsionic powers, so I had a pretty clear path forward as far as my father was concerned, and I was eventually enlisted as a medic for Cass. And pretty immediately after my enlisting, I signed some paperwork and was sworn to secrecy, and was told that I'd be cut off from the rest of my family and everybody else, and probably killed, and if anything ever came out. And then I was shipped off to a Siame, where I served as medic for Commander Fourgraves, Commander Landon Fourgraves, and he was he was very methodical in what he did, and was not. He did some awful things, and I was there, I guess, to make it easier for him to just do whatever he wanted, because I was a very good bioscion. I was much better back then, and I got worse as it went on. I kind of put a blocker on and a dampener. It just kind of got hotter, and I'm just kind of I was kind of getting my powers back. I was a little bit better. I helped yesterday. I helped, but sorry. And he kind of like takes a deep breath. Eventually, the base, Fourgraves base, was raided by Osimian forces, and I survived somehow. I don't remember a lot of it, but I was so relieved. I was so ready to. But I was extracted, and I was brought back to Cass. I didn't see anybody for a long time. I was not doing very well. And there were a couple of psychologists every once in a while that my father vetted and allowed to see me, but they didn't. And I guess eventually my parents got tired of me moping around. I was a grown man. I was 25, 26. So my father pulled some strings and got me a job on Gal, where I was a mine manager for. You met them when we were on Gal, Atlas, and my time there did me, I think, a lot of good. I was always pretty good with paperwork, so I did a lot of that. And the people there, the workers, really cared about the conditions and things. And I didn't at first, but they were very insistent and showed me what to do and what to say to keep them safe. And I could do some basic healing things. So when Atlas lost his eye, I was able to get him back up and working. And I really cared for them. Eventually, I mean, my mind did pretty well because, they walked me through all of the paperwork and everything to get them the supplies they needed. But the rest of Gal is just terribly, terribly overworked and exploited, and the workers rightfully revolted. So, I was saved again, and Atlas knocked me out and put me on a cargo ship out, and I don't know if they knew where it was going, but I ended up right back in Cass. So I lived on the streets for a while, and I thought that people just kind of assumed that I was dead, and then did a couple of jobs trying to stay out of sight. And then I was contacted, and they said that they needed to recover a ship. And I met all of you. And then I think that we know what happened from there. So that's it. That's it. That's everything. And like Alix has gotten progressively shakier, like his knees kind of like trembling a little bit. But he's still standing pretty much on his own. And that's where I came from.
Noticing the trembling, Nona is going to stand up and go hold his hand exactly like she saw Micah do to Claire when Claire
Alix
was trembling.
Alix does not let Nona hold his hand at first. Like Alix 100% like, who's that back? But then is sorry, it's a reflex. You can hold my hand if you want to.
I thought it would be helpful. I'm sorry.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, Micah's been just definitely not uttering anything, letting him say anything and everything that he wanted to get out there. And so still quiet until it's very obvious that Alix is finished. So did you choose to sign on, or did they make you?
Nobody chooses to sign on. Nobody gets to pick the assignment. But I could have left at any point. I was told where to go, and also, every choice, every time somebody tells you to do something, it's you who has to do it. So I did it, and I am.
But they threatened you with your family, right? That's what you said, right?
The family threatened me. They threatened to leave it, cut me off, stop me from. So I mean, I guess threaten me with my family. It's kind of the same, two sides of the same coin, I guess.
Okay. You regret the things you did? I'm looking straight into his eyes as much as I'm able to.
I mean, Alix, like, every day I regret it. There's no...
Okay. And Micah's also been standing up kind of tense for this whole time. She's going to relax a little bit and walk over to the other side of the barracks, and I'm going to put a hand on Alix's shoulder.
So you're allowed to do it.
Alix kind of like, starts to flinch away. He closes his eyes, kind of fully expecting like a knife to the stomach kind of thing. He's like, okay, great.
This is how it goes.
This is it.
Death equals redemption.
Yeah. So this might be, rocky for a little while, but I don't think you're a bad person, Alix. And I think we've gotten to know each other. And I believe in being able to move past mistakes that you made. So you tell me that you regret it, and I believe you. Then I'm not going to hold it against you. Okay?
Alix starts crying. Alix breaks down. Curls up in a little ball. Back against the wall kind of thing.
I don't know why you are all looking at me like, should I end the scene? Should I just like end on?
I think,
I don't know, maybe. Nona doesn't know what to do with her hands.
I think it's just one of those things where you just let it happen, and
you gotta let it play out. Yeah,
everything has been said that needs to be said. Is there more that wants to be said?
I think,
or asked?
I think so. I think so, at least for now. Okay. Yeah.
So take that moment, and we can fade away from it and fast forward a little bit until probably it is solidly like morning now rather than early morning. Claire comes out of the bedroom and sees you all there. Says, I already told Alix this, but I'm sorry. I don't know why that's happening. I try and stop. I'm sorry. I know that sharing thoughts and feelings, that's like an act of vulnerability that someone should choose to do themselves, but I can't control it always, especially when I'm sleeping, and I'm sorry. I think I'm really, I don't know, I've practiced with you guys a lot, so I'm able to talk to you quite easily, so those pathways are they're really there, and sometimes it just kind of happens.
Yeah. Oh.
Are we okay?
I know you don't do it on purpose, and that's rough.
For the record, if Alix isn't crying, Alix is asleep.
Fair enough.
The coffee
having exhausted himself.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's just absolutely passed out in bed, like curled up.
I'll tell Claire. I think we're going to be okay here. I guess I can't speak for Alix, but I don't think that any of us hold it against you. You're not able to control it. We discussed maybe getting you another hotel room, but I don't think we're going to try and do that.
Warning could potentially be nice if you were able to do that.
I'll do my best. The issue is, I'm able to reach out farther distances, so we really have to like, or maybe put something on me so like my brain waves don't go out. Like Professor X.
Doing some reading on.
Have you been getting into those comic books again, Claire?
Sorry, he seems cool.
I probably gave you the comic books. It's fine.
I've been told that tinfoil might help with that.
I thought that was going in, not going out.
I could wear tinfoil.
And so
Yeah.
the lazy morning happens. People start to get up. Is there going to be any discussion now as to, obviously there was one part of the dream sequence, but there's also the prophecy. Not saying from a DM perspective you need to discuss this right now.
No.
But he
And
would really,
Is this-
really
would-
like us
would that would that conversation have happened in the morning so I don't just skip over it to the next thing?
probably like, Micah's going to be a little bit more muted generally for a little bit, but whenever Alix wakes up, I had flagged it before that is something we should probably chat about because they tend to be relevant.
Fair enough.
So if he's up to talk.
I think actually I'd like to have a conversation with Claire.
Okay. She's down to have conversations. She's down to be a person.
Cool. Amazing. So probably, if at all possible, this is happening like not in the same room as the other two, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm missing something.
Missing what?
Something important happened there, and I don't get it.
Like the conflict or the resolution?
Both? I think. I don't know. All I know is that every once in a while I think I'm getting a hang of getting used to this whole being a person thing, and then something like this happens and I realize I don't know anything.
Well, as far as I understand it, like Micah and myself were a group of people that on Orisiame that's are oppressed, and unbeknownst to us and kind of obfuscated, Alix was part of the oppressors. He didn't know us at the time, but he was. And so I understand Micah's frustration. I have a little bit of it myself, but
But he didn't know you at the time. So this is not. I understand the idea of, revenge and personal slights. Getting to understand that myself, but he didn't intend anything against you specifically.
he still took actions against us, even if he didn't know us. And the reason why it's so hard is because we know him now, and we know he wouldn't do those things to us. So trying to understand his past and knowing him now, they're two very conflicting feelings. But I think because we know him now, we know him, and we understand he knows that he doesn't want to do what he did before, and he wishes he hadn't. There's some, it's a little bit more okay than if he was like, no, I was in the right, I was doing the right thing. Because then that would change who we thought he was.
Nona doesn't have anything more to say about that. She's just going to contemplate it for a while.
Mm-hmm. So that exchange happens. Any other conversations that are happening before the morning rolls or rolls more into the day, and someone comes to get you, or you guys venture out, or do you want to dissect some more things?
I think while, those two are kind of chatting, maybe Alix is still asleep. I think that it seems like we're being in the barracks for at least a little bit more of the morning. Micah's just going to be kind of quietly mulling things over, maybe like idly spinning some like trinkets or rocks around with telekinesis while she just kind of thinks about stuff and waits for everyone to kind of re-congregate back together.
All right. Anything else happens this morning? Any more conversations that want to be had in the moment?
I think if there's a lot of this sort of like air of nobody talk kind of
It
thing.
seems like it's a quiet morning.
Yeah, Nona's gonna like feel a little bit uncomfortable about that and like maybe go try to do more helping out with the same thing we were doing last night. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't have any medical knowledge, but she's really good at fetching things,
All right. Yeah.
moving stuff from A to B. And so she'll just kind of alternate between doing that, checking back in on her, like, did I miss anything? No, okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And back and forth like that.
Yeah. So there's definitely this air of awkward silence that kind of radiates, and there is some healing that's happening there. But it was very clear that things happened. They sure did. So the question that I have for you all is: it seems like you are in a bit of a passive state this morning. You're not going to seek anyone out. You're just kind of waiting around until someone seeks you out.
I mean, I think I don't really know how we get back to our ship, but eventually we're going to want to go back to our ship. And I, at the very least, am going to go want to visit my sister out in the middle of nowhere. And, come alone, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that plan in the air. Again,
That's on the back burner.
If people are kind of roughly in place, or even if Nona's just right there, I don't know if you're kind of vocally expressing this intention, but it was pretty obvious because you brought it up the previous day.
I think that there's when we get back to the ship, that's maybe the time to talk about it. And when we get back to Nova Boxes, but because we're here currently in the Firefangs camp.
That's true. But again, the prophecy is sort of on the docket, and that talks about the wasteland.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can discuss that.
All right. So as you guys are kind of having your lazy morning, you're eating your cold biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Because they're gotten quite early in the morning. A knock comes on the door. Who answers? Who's in the state to answer? It's probably only Nona.
Hi, it's me, Nona.
I think Alex would be awake at this point.
Right, but would he be up to answer a door?
No, he's laying in bed for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Internally screaming.
And so, Nona, you open
Nona's
the
going
door
to answer
and
the
you
door.
see a Firefang soldier. The same white fur, black ears, patches on the eyes, all that. And you don't recognize this one. And so they say, your presence is being requested in the commander's hangar, if you do not mind.
Mine or the whole group? Or...
all four of you.
Alex gives us thumbs up.
We will be there momentarily.
Yep. Give us a minute. We're on the way.
All right. Cool.
How many guns is an appropriate amount of guns to bring to this? All of them? None of them? Some of them?
Are you asking me?
No. You've left. I shut the door on you.
Yes,
This
all
is
right.
a
Good day.
Go away.
You are no longer.
You're not part of this conversation. Stupid panda.
Guns, you mean like the ones that you got from the Firefangs?
I just meant in general. I'm very confused as to where we stand with the Firefangs because their leader almost killed me that one time, but now also we're fighting with them, and I'm very confused.
Pycleides is gone, so I think that you're okay there.
Yeah, it's been confusing, but it seems like without him around, the rest of them are more chill.
One small gun. Got it.
One small gun sounds good.
I need 2 minutes to shower.
So you guys get ready. Take a quick shower. You go to the hangar that you're pointed to. It's a lot smaller than the one that you had met Pycleides and the rest of the Firefang sort of brass to discuss the invasion of Wycliffe, as that is now being used as the triage center. This is a little bit more of an office almost. And when you enter, you see a Celine who is, as we mentioned before, missing an arm from the night before. You see Amari, as well as Aletta and Dr. Lucius Leggett. And they are talking back and forth and say, Aletta speaks up and says, "Hey, how did you all sleep? I hope it wasn't too uncomfortable."
Fine, Nona says, boldly lying.
Okay. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a debrief. Quick question. Have I given you money yet? This is Jeff asking here.
No, more, please.
At least I don't recall. Let me double check we might have.
Not in my memory.
Yeah.
I think we agreed on each getting
to 18,000 each, which should go to.
Yeah, I haven't tweaked the money counter since January 7th, which I believe is.
All right. So to start off, how much money? She's like, all right. Yeah, it took a bit of wrangling, but here's 72,000 credits, 18,000 credits for each of you. So there you guys go.
Oh, money. I love you so much.
I figured we want a little bit of a debrief, unless you guys are planning to head out immediately. Dr. Leggett here was mentioning that you may have had more plans for some ventures into the Fistossan wastes. If you'd like to sit around, we could debrief a little bit, understand a little bit more about what happened last night.
I am.
You're under no obligation to stick around. Your part has been played. I'm sure. And she looks over at Dr. Leggett and says, "I'm sure Lucius over here would perhaps want you to stick around." Oh, yes, quite. If you don't mind, I would like at the very least to have some more words with you before you leave. But I suppose you aren't necessary for these conversations.
I'm happy to cover what we went through.
Yeah. What do you all want to know?
I think just really start from the beginning. And I'm not going to have you guys like go through, but just give me broad strokes, like what you guys tell them. I mean, Red was with you, so it's not like you try and hide any information other than the information that Nona's already kind of like
Red doesn't
close
know
to
that.
Yeah, exactly. Keep him close to the chest. So I assume you mentioned your whole like incremental time. You have an understanding of like where you were at different points during the night.
I'm going to call specific attention to like Ernst and Emmanuel because like that's a loose thread that I don't know if Nona managed to ever fully tie up. And I don't know, like, while we were together in that tower, that might have been mentioned. Like, oh, by the way, there's people down there. Okay.
Send people.
Okay.
So you give that like some of those dangling stuff. You also mentioned, hey, we saw some power armor there.
That's ours. Oh no, we already definitely mentioned that. Cool. Mentioned that. I called dibs on the mind control thing, but we can get into that later.
And so at that, Aletta speaks up and says, all right, so Celine, if you would mind to give your account. And she says, Celine gets up and says, yes, Byclides around 3 or 4 hours into the night was done with the bombardment and ordered the Firefang platoons to stand at ready. He led his over the wall around 4,300. That's not right. 430. There we go.
430.
430. Thank you. 430. And in the ensuing fight that took place in the courtyard, Firefang casualties climbed to around 158, with 36 dead. About half of the casualties were, for lack of a better word, mind controlled, were jumped by those compliance hardware before they had an understanding of what was happening. We are additionally missing 21 Firefangs, including Byclides. All of the missing Firefangs were members of the platoon that Byclides took into Wycliffe before the rest of the army was able to make it into the courtyard. For the Sun Guard, Terry unfortunately lost his life. We were able to find Mari, and she was able to stabilize a lot of the casualties. If it was not for her quick work, we would have quite a few more deaths on her hands. Along with her rejoined Barry and Arcus, previous Sun Guards who were able to provide a little bit more stability to the leader structure for the Firefangs during the commotion of last night. We haven't done a full inventory of the various munitions used, but several fighters that we had taken were shot down, and several have yet to be located. And after that, she sits down, and Aletta looks over to Dr. Lucius Leggett, and he says, "Oh, yes, I suppose it's my turn. After we were able to take control of Wycliffe, we were able to take into custody Carmen Restikov as well as Ernst Restikov. He was beaten very badly, but he is stable and will be just fine, although he is missing a right hand.
And I'm not giving it back. That's Kirsten, not Nona.
I'm not giving it back.
I'm not. It's mine now.
It's going to stay missing.
Damn straight.
Wilhelm Restikov as well as Elena Restikov have been recovered. Unfortunately, the youngest son, Emmanuel Restikov, is missing. Last known whereabouts were somewhere deep within the mines. He seems to be much more familiar with the area than we are, and has been so far able to evade our gaze at the moment. We're not entirely sure where he could have possibly gone. We have people stationed at the mine elevator shaft itself, as well as where you all came in from, the cave system. So we believe he's somewhere in there, and we hope to smoke him out eventually.
Calling it right now, he's flying out on a dragon. Just saying this, like Kristen, outside of things, like
calling your shot.
he's going to calling my shot. He's going to totally storm that barricade.
I did spend one of my darkness to do
giant
father of dragons.
worms. Yeah. No, it's Emmanuel, right?
Or was it Emmanuel?
Emmanuel.
Also, just really fast while we're stopped. So Carmen and Ernst are in custody, and then Wilhelm and what was the sister's name?
Elena.
Are both dead. And
Yes.
then Emmanuel
But have been
Smith.
recovered.
Sure.
Additionally, I was able to look a little bit closer into these devices that were plugged into the various consoles. We're not entirely sure what to exactly call them, but for the moment, we're going to be calling them expert boxes. This is due to the fact that they contain expert systems that seem to be designed to specifically work with any console within the mega factories themselves. They don't appear to be useful for any other use other than that particular one. It just needs directions that are able to be fed to it directly. It is a little strange, however, given that if there was a true AI within this mega factory itself, we wouldn't need such items. The true AI should be able to split its consciousness across several of these consoles and control them without any difficulty. But the creation of this particular device, it appears to be pre-tech in nature, which would seem to imply that it was created around the same time that the true AI existed. So either that they were created after the fact with someone with enough knowledge to make such devices, which we haven't seen anywhere else, or they were pre-existing but unnecessary for the true AIs themselves. Very strange items, but Sona Bhutan and Everhaven are already inquiring as to the split of these expert boxes to use within their own various structures.
I honestly don't remember, Jeff. Do you remember if I still have the one I was carrying around for a while, or if I put that down?
I think you still do have
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Cool. I ain't saved.
All right. Yeah,
This one's mine now.
The more alarming find that we had was I performed a quick autopsy on Wilhelm. The cybernetics within him were, to say the least, vast. The man was unfortunately more machine than man by the end.
Nona's a little bit glaring at him with the use of the word unfortunately.
Yes, not unfortunately.
No. You don't know. He doesn't notice it, but just
A
like
little judgmental. if you
yeah,
ask
come
me.
on, dude. Mr. Oh, it's my life's ambition to find a true AI. Gonna throw
This
it
was
out
Jeff
of
forgetting something. It's
Okay,
just, it's
okay.
fine, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's just Jeff making a Star Wars reference. It's fine.
Oh no.
The cybernetics within his body were astounding, to say the least. Definitely pre-tech
Beautiful,
in
even.
nature. Beautiful almost. Very delicately crafted. It was either he found these various pieces of cybernetics and were able to adapt them to himself, something with a man of his wealth and stature could possibly procure, or it was somehow created for him with someone who had a very deep understanding of pre-tech robotics and cybernetics. His ability to, for lack of a better word, hook into the factory did seem to take up most of these cybernetics, and these were the ones that were found at his back on his torso. Now, the most concerning finding was this, and at that, Dr. Lucius Leggett reaches into his coat and pulls out a small, see-through test tube, on the inside of which is a very, very small silver cylinder. This was found within the brainstem of Wilhelm. It was only able to be found due to the injury that he inflicted upon himself, and was found completely by accident. For any even rudimentary look of the body would quickly have overlooked this. It appears that perhaps the injury itself was meant to hit this particular area and destroy this evidence, but I can't say whether or not that is actually the truth. The only reason why I was able to find it, though, was because the infliction itself was in the area of this, where this was implanted itself.
Mm.
This silver cylinder, I have reason to believe, is of the exact type and make of those that we find within the smokers and whelps and worms that were plaguing Novavaxis during their attacks. This implies that Wilhelm was not the mastermind of it all, but was merely a pawn.
There's always a bigger fish.
And that concludes the information that we have to divulge. And Aletta sits back at that. It says, so there's something else out there.
All right. Well, as long as it's out there and not in here, I'm going to go ahead and lift the somber atmosphere around this meeting by saying congratulations on obtaining a second tower. And ask you not to forget the role that we played in that.
Absolutely not. I hope that this arrangement that we've had between the two of us has been extremely beneficial, because it has been for us, and I hope that you feel that we've paid you generously when it comes to the jobs that you were able to perform. And I will very much say that everything that we have asked you to do, you have done and above. So I have no qualms with this particular relationship at this moment in time.
The bar is so low when it comes to mercenaries, you know?
Just do your job, man.
Don't storm the tower before we open the door. It's really that simple, but apparently no.
If you could leave a positive review with our intermediary employees, the Paragon freelancers. Remember them, everyone? They're why we're here. They got us an in.
And Aletta continues to speak up and say, considering the fact that there's still something or someone else out there who did this, I would very much like to keep this information on the down low within this group of people right here. Sona Bhutan and Everhaven back to this, but it could very well be one of them that was able to get their a hold on one of this information and then do some kind of false flag operation. We're not entirely sure who we can trust at this moment in time. It could theoretically be anyone.
You're going to make us sign another NDA, aren't you?
Oh, you've already signed the NDA. The NDA covers this as well. I hope you understand.
Oh, okay.
Any work,
As long
any
as I don't have to
information that
sign
you gather
anything else.
on work when contracted by or
It was suspiciously specific.
It's like, when we inevitably send you to overthrow Wycliffe.
If a man whose name begins with W dies on this mission.
You never knew him.
Yes, so if that's all that you all have and that's all that we have,
Yep.
I'm taking the next flight back to Nova Voxus to set up the divvying up of the various things that we can find and strip from Wycliffe. We will have to, there's going to be a lot of talks between Everhaven and Sona Bhutan about how to share this one structure. We'll see how that all goes. I'm sure I'll be very busy with the politics of all of that. But for the moment, additionally, there was some power armor, I believe, that you all claimed in
I did
the
leave a
basement.
note.
We called
we
dibs, yeah.
found both the power armor as well as the note saying claimed by the
No.
It just
By
says
Nona.
Nona.
Yeah,
It
claimed by
straight
Nona.
up says Nona. She's very self-centered that way.
we're fine with with parting with it. Call it a bonus. It'll be on the flight back with you, and we can deal with the delivery to your ship as well.
Yes. Fine. But I want to know about that console
What console? The console.
that in the top of the tower that Willem Restikov was using to mind control people.
Yes, that console was directly linked up to the various compliance headwear, but it was integrated within the structure itself.
Okay, so don't call dibs on that, but I'd like to look at it.
Sorry. What? Going to take the copper wire too.
And Dr. Lucius Leggett speaks up at that and said, I suppose I could join you in taking a look at it. It is at this point in time the property of Nova Voxus, Everhaven, and Sona Bhutan, so I can't necessarily allow you to deconstruct it, especially since it seems to be the new, for lack of a better word, brain center with how they rerouted the power within Wycliffe. But I can join you and we can take a look together if you'd like.
Fine with me.
All right.
All right.
I suppose we can do that now if you want before we take the flight back.
When was
Phoenix.
the next flight again?
4:30.
It's sometime
For
between
space
in the next 2 hours.
All right. But we
Okay.
have TSA pre-checks, so we only have to get there like 30 minutes ahead of time. or-
Yeah, sure.
All right, just enough time to poke around the mind control box.
All right. So the disseminating of all that information that happened, the debrief happened, and you go your various ways. You pack up your things, and who else will be going? Will it just be the entire group, and then Dr. Lucius Leggett to visit the top of the tower, or is just Nona and him?
Alex wants
That
to
seems
go,
like
but
a
Alex
dangerous
is gonna also kind of be like, Nona, can I just quickly talk with you briefly? Micah, Dr. Leggett, if you don't mind, just kind of we want to do our own debrief very briefly,
yes,
and then
yes,
and then we'll continue on our way.
Yes, I'll wait.
at this location, and you can find me, and we can go there and take a look see together. Yes. I have not had any sleep during the last night, and I'm running on 4 cups of coffee. I feel great.
Go get yourself a 5th, buddy.
As he waves and trots off.
The man is going to die.
I hope he doesn't hit his head. That'd be bad. So Nona, I'm just curious why you're kind of. I feel like recently, you're kind of gravitating around the mind control device specifically, and those aren't my words. That's what you've been calling it.
Yes.
So like, what's exactly the goal there?
Well, first of all, I was thinking if we could replicate this technology, we might be able to. Well, I've discussed the second mind control entity theory before, and that seems to be confirmed by Dr. Lucius Leggett's findings.
Mm-hmm.
So there is most likely going to be an army wherever we go to.
See, that's a little bit of a leap, but no, go ahead.
Well, if you could mind control a bunch of animals to attack things whenever you wanted to, you would, right?
Yeah, but we've had a couple of mind-controlled animals that have attacked, but that I feel like if they wanted an army, if they had an army, it would have appeared at some point. What are the chances that they're just waiting for us specifically to be here to unleash a whole army of them? There's been kind of small pockets and things, but I failed to see how that connects back to this mind control device specifically.
We could make our own. I have the blueprints for the other one, and we could take that technology as a little bit of a setback that we cannot, in fact, separate it from the tower itself. But if I can study that technology, I could potentially replicate it, and then we could build our own army of mind-controlled animals. We could start with the, assuming that they're still there, the whelps and worms underneath Wycliffe, but I bet we could find some more somewhere.
So what I was hoping that you would say is, I was trying to find a way to break the mind control. Do you understand? Do you understand that having an army fight an army results in just a lot more mess than like freeing an army? Does that make sense?
We should be freeing the
mind-controlled army, I think.
Okay, I suppose we could do that as well.
That also hinges again on whether or not there is an army, which I don't know. I'm not going to discount, but does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. The way I understood it also was that I did manage to recently look up the definition of a false flag operation, and well, if Wycliffe was intended to be that, then you would be hiding things, as I understand it. And now that the false flag is no longer waving, shall we say, there is no need to be stealthy. So I would just assume, hypothetically, if I was put in the position of this mysterious second brain control person, then why not go all out now?
A couple things. So I guess to maybe speak your language a little bit more, probably like taking over or mind controlling a bunch of animals would take a lot of time. The helmets that are the ones that the Restikov was using are not the ones that were mind controlling all the other things. We don't know how that works yet.
That's correct.
I'm trying to argue against this idea using those things first. Also, that's a horrifying suggestion. It's a very dangerous technology. I do not think that like wiping out the ecosystem to try and like have animals fight each other is a good idea. I think that is a bad idea.
Okay, so we're against humans being mind controlled, but we are also against animals being mind controlled.
Yes.
Generally, I would tend to say that mind control is bad.
Okay, so we're against humans getting mind controlled, people getting mind controlled.
Yeah.
Animals is also bad.
I would kind of like mind control generally, not great. Not really a technology. Pretty
Even if they're
pretty
happy.
frowned on.
Free will is important.
Yes. Free will is pretty important.
Free will, yeah.
Okay, so on the scale of we've got human trafficking, we've got murder, we've got torture, we've got mind controlling animals, and we've got mind controlling people.
Okay,
How does this all
that's not
play
quite.
out
That's
here?
not exactly
those
how.
are
Oh my
bad.
god.
I'm here too. Yeah, those are all bad, I think.
All bad, yeah.
Those might not all be just like on one axis, one continuum. They can be bad in like slightly different ways, but all bad.
What is the label of the two axes?
Oh,
Are there more than two?
Well, that's what probably more than okay. I feel maybe I've obfuscated
We'll have
the
more
points
about
there.
this conversation maybe next time.
Everybody has a morality spectrum, and some of them are really bad and really skewed.
It's why like the gray area, it's like it's everything is black and
Jeff,
white.
you were saving us. Don't dive back in.
slowly fading.
I mean, yeah, this is what's fading.
So passionately, I think that.
Yeah, is anyone ever good or bad? Really?
Because like we murder people a lot. I'm just calling out.
I think animal mind control is better than torture. Like
no,
on
yeah.
a good scale.
Those biscuits and gravy